Ladies and gentlemen, and Pokemon fans of the world, Crasher Chase is back, and allow me to welcome you to another Pokemon X and Y analysis video featuring, this time, the Fire type starter final evolution, that being Delphox. And I just want to say that at first sight, I thought this Pokemon looked extremely, just totally badass, like a foxy magician with some tricks up its sleeve, no pun intended. So, without further rambling on, I'm going to go right into its next section, that being the typing ability stats, and a few sets that are very usable, in my opinion, for Delphox. So let's go. So with Delphox, it has the very unique typing of Fire and Psychic, which Victini and Darmanitan Zen mode have, other than Delphox, which I think is pretty special. However, it does leave you open to being pursuit trapped, and you have a weakness to Stealth Rocks. But have no fear, for you cannot keep a good Foxy Magician down. The ability that it has, Blaze being pretty standard amongst fire type starters, and Magician being the hidden ability. And to my knowledge, what Magician does is if you're not holding an item and your opponent attacks you, you happen to steal their held item, which can play some pretty awesome mind games. So keep that in mind. No pun intended. As for its HP, or stats I should say, it has 75 HP, 69 attack, 72 defense, 114 special attack, 100 special defense, and 104 speed. Now, you see here that these stats are not really that bad, especially on the special side. Um, its defenses are a little bit to be desired at base 72, but there are ways around it for you to take physical hits pretty well, and I'll get to that in one of the sets. Um, its base attack being at 69, we're not even going to bother using that. I mean, it's just way too abysmal in comparison to its 114 special attack, which is pretty threatening in my opinion. And its special defense, you can take some pretty awesome special hits because base 100 special defense is just, it's so good, especially with some of the setup moves that it knows. And base 104 speed has to be like one of the most funniest and trollish speed stats ever because you outspeed base 100s, you outspeed the likes of Garchomp, which is pretty funny, and you outspeed many others, and that's awesome. So, without further ado, I'm going to get to the first set that I have for you, so let's do this. So this set here, I believe, is going to be the standard offensive set of Delphox. The nature that we have, you can either go with Modest to further boost its special attack, or you can go with Timid to further boost its speed. Either way, you can't go wrong with those two choices. The ability we're going to be using is known as Blaze, and that, in my opinion, is the more superior ability because in a pinch, it powers up your fire type moves by 50% when you're at a third of your HP or less. Now, the items for choice, we have a few here. You can go with Leftovers to increase its survivability, Life Orb to power up moves, but at the expense of some of your HP, or Expert Belt to not only power up super effective moves, but also potentially trick your opponent into thinking you have a choiced item, and that will play serious head games. Now for the EV spread, it's the usual standard EV spread for any offensive Pokemon. 4 are going to go into HP, 252 into special attack, and 252 into speed. As for the moveset, we are going to go with Calm Mind because it is a good way to boost your special attack and special defense by one stage, thus making you harder to take down on the special side, and also allows you to hit harder, especially offensively. The second move we have is Flamethrower. It is the most reliable, non-recoil, perfectly accurate move to have, so we're going to be going with that. Psychic is also the most reliable psychic move that you have, and it's also the most powerful, and there's a potential that you lower your opponent's special defense, therefore making them even more open for taking serious damage. And Shadow Ball is a good way to hit ghost types that are slower than you and gives you a fighting chance against them. Now, some moves to consider. You can run Grass Knot over Shadow Ball to have a fighting chance against water types, as well as rock types and ground types too. Will-O-Wisp, you can throw that in there somewhere if you feel you don't want to use like a certain move. Could be a good way to surprise your opponents and cripple their physical attacker, making them pretty much useless at that point. Psyshock is a weaker version of Psychic, but what it does is it deals damage on your opponent's physical stat, or physical defensive stat, I should say. My apologies. Um, so if you're faced off, say, against like a Blissey or a Florges or something like that, or something that can take special hits very well, it's not going to be taking Psyshock that well. And the last move to consider is known as Mystical Fire, and that's a move exclusively to Delphox. And what it is it's a base 65 power type move that lowers your opponent's special attack by one stage. So that could allow you to take hits even better on the special side. Just something to consider. So with that in mind, I'm going to be going over another set that I have for you. So let's go. So this next set here is going to focus on turning Delphox into quite the awesome revenge killer. The nature that we're going to be using, once again, you can either go with Modest or Timid. The ability that we're going to be using, once again, Blaze for is the more superior ability in my opinion. The item for choice, no pun intended, you can either go with Choice Scarf to further boost your speed but lock you into that one move, or Choice Specs to lock you into a move and increase your special attack. The EV spread, 4 into HP, 252 into special attack, and 252 into speed. The move set. This is what sets Delphox apart from a lot of the other Pokemon, and not to mention it sets itself apart from its fellow starter Pokemon. It gets Switcheroo, which is a dark type version of Trick. So if you're faced against like a tank or a wall or something like that, then you can trick your choice item, causing them to be locked into one move and being rendered pretty much useless. The next move that we have for choice is Flamethrower, for it is the most reliable, non-recoil, perfectly accurate fire-type move to have. Psychic, as I said in the previous move set, is the most powerful and reliable Psychic-type move. And Shadow Ball as a way to hit fast Ghost types if you equipped a Choice Scarf, or if you're faced off against a bulky Ghost type, then using a Choice Spec Shadow Ball would be pretty decent. Now, some moves to consider. It learns Overheat, which is incredible. It hits like a truck. However, there is a drawback, that being a -2 special attack drop, which is never fun. The second move to consider, Fire Blast. It is a non-recoil, stronger type version of Flamethrower, but with only 85 accuracy, which is a tad bit shaky, so I caution you on that. Psyshock as a way to deal damage on the physical side to any special walls, and Grass Knot as a way to have a chance once again with bulky water, ground, or rock type Pokemon. That's pretty much all I have to say for this set idea. I got another one, so stay tuned. So with this next set here, we're going to be taking Delphox and utilizing its ability to be quite the awesome utility slash wish passer. So with that in mind, we're going to be going with a timid nature to maximize its speed. Ability, once again, is going to be Blaze. The item for choice is going to be Leftovers, because that's pretty standard, not only on bulky sets, but also on support sets. As for the EV spread, 252 are going to go into HP, 4 into special attack, and 252 into speed. Now you can throw the 4 EVs into defense or special defense, but I'd prefer to go with special attack. Don't ask why, it's just my preference. As for the move set, it learns Wish as an egg move, which is pretty decent. So you can go with the whole Wish Protect or Sub Wish combo if you wanted. Will-O-Wisp is its second move slot, and Will-O-Wisp got a very nice boost in this generation by having a base 85 accuracy, which is just so much better. The third move that we have is Protect because it goes hand in hand with um, not only Will-O-Wisp burn stalling, but also Wish Protect so that you are guaranteed to heal up without taking any damage next turn. And the last move that we have is known as Mystical Fire, and as I said before, Mystical Fire is an exclusive move to Delphox only, and what this does is it lowers your opponent's special attack by one stage, and even though it is a weaker move, it allows you to take hits better on the special side after lowering your opponent's special attack. Now, the moves to consider, I only have one, and that being Magic Coat, which is yet another egg move that it learns. And what Magic Coat does is it's a priority move that allows you to bounce back any status-inducing moves or any entry hazard moves, which can be pretty awesome in my opinion. So if you want to throw that in and replace one of these moves up above, then feel free to do so. That's all I have to say for this set. It's time for one last set. So let's do this. So this last set idea is going to focus on making Delphox as bulky as possible, so it will have ample opportunities potentially to set up. The nature that we're going to be going with is bold to maximize its physical defense and lower its attack, which we're not even going to bother using in any sets, or in any instance for that matter, because its physical move pool is pretty abysmal in my opinion. The ability for choice, once again, is going to be Blaze. The item for choice is going to be Leftovers because, as I said before, it's pretty standard amongst sets that utilize Pokemon's bulk. The EV spread, 252 are going to go into HP, 252 into defense, and 4 into speed. As for the move set, we have Calm Mind to boost its special attack and special defense by one stage. The second move for choice is going to be Wish, um, which is a two-turn recovery move, and also, again, is the kind of move that allows you to switch a weakened Pokemon in and take the Wish recovery, so that's called Wish Passing. The next move for choice is known as Mystical Fire, which is, as I said before, a weaker version of Flamethrower, sorry, but the added effect is a -1 special attack drop from your opponent, which will make you harder to take down on the special side. And the last move for choice is Psychic because it's a very strong and reliable Psychic type move, and it also grants Stab too. Now, moves to consider. I got a big list here. Um, the first two moves is known as Rest and Sleep Talk. And I just want to say that if you're going to be using the Rest and Sleep Talk combo, consider Chesto Berry as an item for choice. I'm going to have a little blurb at the bottom so that you can see it as well. Um, and I would consider replacing something like Wish and maybe an attacking move so that you can be a mono attacking sleep talker with a setup move. The third move that we have is Substitute. You can have that over Calm Mind or over Wish or something like that, so that it prevents you from taking statuses. Psyshock being the alternative for Psychic. Grass Knot for being a way to hit water, ground, and rock type Pokemon for super effective damage. Shadow Ball as a way to give you a chance against ghost types. Fire Blast as a way to hit very powerfully, but has shaky accuracy. Flamethrower as the most reliable fire type move with perfect accuracy and very good power. And Will-O-Wisp if you want to replace something like Mystical Fire with Will-O-Wisp to cripple your opponents and thus further boosting your physical defense essentially because Will-O-Wisp cuts the attack stat of your opponent right in half. So that's basically all I have to say for this set and for this video. Be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, and please tell me what you think. Um, and also, guys, I just want to say, let me know what you think of the videos and the content and how I am presenting it. If you have any suggestions, don't be rude, but constructive criticism is always welcome. There's a difference between constructive criticism and destructive criticism, so keep that in mind. So with everything said, I hope you guys have a good night, and I will be sure to bring you yet another video sometime in the near future, like tomorrow or something. Have a good night, guys. This is Crasher Chase signing off.